Hi, I'm Mark Ursuline Jr. with Complete Turnaround Detailing and Paint Enhancement. Most of my friends call me Junior. One of my favorite things to do is taking cars and making them better than they were before, upgrading them or making them look better, or maybe bringing them back to their past glory. And aircraft too, even, I don't know, an old toolbox or something to make things nicer or better, or just better to suit my needs. I love cars and trucks and aircraft, a lot of different machines, Legos, and video games. I have a cat named Puffin. He's a good boy. And I love to detail cars and trucks and airplanes, and I've done trailers. And I have a full-time job at the airport, Las Cruces International Airport. I work as an aircraft line specialist. Mainly I refuel aircraft or marshal them in, like guide them where to park. I also do other things like simple things like check the oil or clean the windshield. I can do breathing oxygen services, and we also get like reservations and stuff. As I mentioned in the DIY podcast, I've always been into cars and trucks pretty much as long as I can remember. My dad got me into them. He always had some kind of cool vehicle that he would upgrade or paint or something, and I remember him working on them and writing in them. He'd been telling me stories of other ones that he had back in the past, or he used to take me to car shows and races and monster truck shows, things like that. When I was younger, my grandparents owned a taxi company here in town, and my dad worked for them, and I would also help my dad work on the cars and stuff and keep them going. And I'd wash them for like $10 a cab. And eventually, I became the head technician there, working on all the cars, keeping them going. Then, when I was almost old enough to drive, sadly, my grandfather passed away, but he left behind a truck for me, a 1970 Chevy stepside short bed that my dad had painted and done some work to. And I got it, and I upgraded the carburetor and ignition system, and later, eventually, I put headers and a new intake and some other upgrades like a camshaft, different wheels and tires and things. And I'd always detail it. I took it to car shows, and I was even in a kind of a regional lowrider magazine one time with it. I remember on the weekends we'd watch car shows on TV, like trucks and hot rod TV and stuff, and I'd learn how to work on them and care for them and stuff. I remember reading the old magazines, Hot Rod Magazine, Carcraft, tons of others. And then when I was in high school, in my last year before I graduated, I was actually able to take college courses too. I was studying automotive tech, and I learned how to work on cars even more. Around that time, I also worked at a racing machine shop where they built engines, and eventually later I also worked at a transmission shop, pulling and installing transmissions and doing clutch jobs and other things like that. And then eventually I had some friends that work at the airport already, and they got me a job in about 2013, the job that I have now. And my employers there have always been great. They're almost like family now. They've been really good to me, so I thank them for that. It's nice to see different aircraft. I do like my job. It's pretty cool. I've seen military old warbirds, P-51s, and even a MiG-17. I've met celebrities, Clint Eastwood and some others. So it's pretty cool. And then, of course, I've met pilots who let me take care of their airplanes, take care of their airplanes and keep them clean, shine them up. And then in early 2020, around the same time when COVID was starting up, I started having these like heart palpitations. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought maybe it was anxiety attacks or something. And then one time it was really bad, so I went to the emergency room. I figured out I had something called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, It's not the same as Parkinson's disease. I don't know why it's called that, but as it turns out, I had like an extra electrode on my heart, so it was basically shorting itself out sometimes. But I consider myself to be lucky because I had a heart operation later in 2020 and they were able to completely cure me. So I'm very thankful for that. A lot of my friends helped me out to pay for the surgery, and everybody was so nice to me and everything. So I'm just so thankful for that. And around the same time as that, I started watching YouTube a lot more because of there wasn't much going on during COVID. So I started watching detailing channels and stuff and upping my skills. It kind of inspired me to keep my cars cleaner again and do other people's cars and stuff. Learned how to polish a lot more. Before I used to just use like one of those big 10-inch orbital waxers. But I learned a lot more about paint and how to correct it, how to protect it better, ceramic coatings and all that. So it really became my passion. And around also the same time, I bought a 2002 Camaro from my parents that had been wrecked quite a few years back, and it was sitting and torn apart. So I put it back together and got it all cleaned up, and that was kind of a project. And so it all kind of went hand in hand. And then I started doing aircraft for people, and it kind of blossomed from there. I started my channel because I like to show others how to do things or show off my projects and stuff like that. I've always sort of had what I consider to be cool cars. I've driven old police cars, an old military Blazer M1009, my 1960 Impala here. I also bought that from my dad. It's been in the family for a long time. Um, my 70 Chevy truck, and also I have my Camaro, and I have a Toyota four-wheel drive that's kind of like my work truck and my everyday truck, and it's also a toy. I love it. It's a great truck. I might do an interior on it or something. 'Cause it definitely gets used. And beyond that, I can show you my cars a little bit, and I'd like to also thank a lot of the YouTube channels like Miranda and Apex, Wilson Auto Detailing, Attention to Details, Pan the Organizer, DIY Detail, MONYC, lots of others. I'm probably forgetting Dell's Paint Correction, that's an older one, but lots of people showed me a lot of things and different ways to do things, and I'm thankful for that. And I'd also like to wish good luck to the other DIY tubers, and I'm just very fortunate to be in the group with you guys. So thank you and good luck. Here's my 1960 Impala. It's a four-door. I have it lowered with coilovers and tubular control arms, American Racing torque thrusts. As you can see, I like to listen to music a lot. Here's my Bluetooth speaker. I did some work to this. If you want to check out some of my older videos, it's not in the cleanest condition right now, but we'll take care of that. Needs to be repolished again, maybe. It's a single stage. It has the 283 small block Chevy V8. I added air conditioning to it. That's in one of my videos also. It's got LED headlights. This is my truck. It's a 1986 Toyota. Well, it's what it started out as. The cab is still an 86. And I converted it to a 1984 chassis, so it has straight front axle. It's got a locked rear end, 4-inch suspension lift. It goes just about anywhere I want it to. I love this old truck. Has the 2.4 liter 22R. And she's a workhorse. And this is my 2002 Camaro SS. It's got the 5.7 liter LS1 V8. As you can see, it's out in the elements and needs to be cleaned again. It's the 35th anniversary limited edition. They made 3,369 of them. Almost 2 years ago now, I polished it and coated it with Underdog Pro coating. I made a video on that too. I'll link it in the description. It's lasted and performed pretty well, but I think soon I'm going to have to do something else to it. I'd like to thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.